So you've got a one-day visit, a truly massive investment, and a state right at a turning point. Today, we're going to decode Prime Minister Modi's landmark trip to Chhattisgarh on its 25th anniversary. What was this really all about? Let's dive in and find out.
First up, let's just talk about this number because it really stopped everyone in their tracks. 14,260 crore rupees. That's the total value of development projects announced in a single day. But, a big number is just that, a number. We're here to unpack what it really means for the people of Chattisgarh.
All right, so to really understand the weight of these announcements, we've got to set the scene first. This whole visit was absolutely packed with symbolism, and it all kicks off with the timing.
Okay, so the timing here, absolutely key. The visit was on November 1st, 2025, which, get this, was precisely on Chhattisgarh's 25th statehood day. It's Silver Jubilee, also known as the Raja Utsav. It all went down in the state's new capital, now our Raipur, and the whole thing was condensed into this power-packed, rescheduled one-day program. Every little detail seems like it was designed for maximum impact.
So we have the context, and we have that massive headline number. Now for the crucial part. Where is all that money actually going? Let's get into the specifics of what was announced. Now, this wasn't just one big mega project. Nope, this was a massive, multi-sector push. We're talking new projects launched and foundation stones laid for future ones, covering crucial areas like healthcare, roads, and energy. But a couple of things really stand out. First, the specific focus on tribal majority regions. And second, a more personal moment, a meeting with children suffering from heart ailments, which kind of puts a real human face on that whole healthcare agenda.
What's really fascinating about this day is how it was this perfect blend of honoring the past while building for the future. On one hand, you had the unveiling of a new statue of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, a tribute to the leader under whose government the state was actually formed. At the very same time, you had the inauguration of a brand new legislative assembly building, a powerful symbol of future governance. The message seems pretty clear. Remember your roots, but build for tomorrow.
So, we've seen what was announced, but what's the deeper meaning here? This visit was way more than just a ribbon-cutting ceremony. It's time to peel back the layers and really get into the strategic thinking behind it all.
You can really break it all down into 4 key layers. First, it starts with the powerful symbolism of the Prime Minister himself attending the 25th anniversary. Then you back that up with the sheer scale of the investment, which sends a huge signal about a major push for development. This new momentum is then captured in these fresh state symbols, like the new assembly building, which helps forge a new identity. And finally, and this is super important, the focus on tribal freedom fighters sends a clear message of inclusion for communities that have been historically marginalized.
And that brings us to a really crucial point. The emphasis wasn't just on, general infrastructure for everyone. The source material really points to a very specific policy of giving special attention to tribal and backward areas. So this isn't just about building roads or museums, it's a very potent political and social message about inclusion and focus.
Of course, grand promises always lead to big questions about what comes next. So what happens now that the dust is settled? Let's take a look at the path ahead and the challenges that come right along with it.
The speeches are over, the cameras are gone, and now the real work begins. This brings us to probably the most important question of all. What should we actually be watching for now?
Well, the success of this whole thing really boils down to 3 critical questions. First, execution. It's the classic question, right? Will these projects get finished on time and actually deliver a real impact? Second, politics. How are these huge promises going to change the conversation around development in the state? And finally, the social impact. Will this all lead to real empowerment for tribal communities and genuine industrial growth? These are the true tests.
So if you take one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. What we've witnessed is the classic tension between a grand, ambitious vision for the future and the immense, practical challenge of making it all happen on the ground. The announcements set the stage for sure, but it's the execution that's going to write the final story.
And that leaves us with one final, thought-provoking question to chew on. Does this visit represent a genuine blueprint for a transformed Chattisgarh, or was it a powerful collection of symbolic promises just designed to mark a moment in time? The answer to that will only unfold in the months and years to come.